Guten Tag, liebe Zuschauer, und herzlich willkommen bei einer neuen Folge von Fahrschein nach Florida. Heute geht es um das Thema Cuban Sandwich. Dieses Sandwich ist ein beliebtes Essen in Tampa und spielt eine wichtige Rolle in dessen Geschichte und Kultur. Tatsächlich ist es das offizielle Sandwich von Tampa. Es besteht aus kubanischem Brot, Schinken, gebratenem Schweinefleisch, Schweizer Käse, Pickles, Senf und Salami. Aber es gibt eine Debatte über diese letzte Zutat. Mehr dazu sage ich später. Mittlerweile bin ich aufgeregt wie ein Kind, denn ich habe etwas Besonderes für euch und für mich geplant. Heute besuchen wir das Columbia Restaurant in Ybor City, Tampa. Das Columbia Restaurant ist das älteste Restaurant in Florida. Es wurde 1905 gegründet und hier wurde das Cuban Sandwich erfunden. Wir haben Glück, oder vielleicht soll ich sagen, wir haben Schwein, denn wir gehen sogar in die Küche dieses berühmten Restaurants. Wir werden mehr über das Cuban Sandwich lernen und darüber, wie es zubereitet wird. Los geht's! With me today is Michael Kilgore, the Chief Marketing Officer of the Columbia Restaurant Group. Michael, before we even get to the Cuban sandwich itself, tell me a little bit about the Columbia Restaurant.
Well, Columbia Restaurant dates back to 1905. Actually, you can go back to 1903. The saloon opened December 17th, 1903, when same day the Wright brothers took flight. But we opened a saloon then. And then the restaurant opened in 1905 and has expanded over the years till it's now the oldest restaurant in Florida and the largest Spanish restaurant in the world. What's remarkable is that it's still owned by the same family. Casimiro Hernandez Sr. Came from Cuba in the late 1800s and started the restaurant, and we're run today by the same family. Richard and Casey Gonsmar are the co-owners, fourth generation, with the fifth generation coming right up right behind them.
And like you said, the restaurant is huge. I believe there's 15 rooms.
It's 15. We have 15 different dining rooms, and we can seat 1,700 people at any given time. We've also expanded other locations. We have 6 other Columbias in Florida. We have Columbia in Sarasota, Celebration, St. Augustine, the Tampa Bay History Center, Clearwater Sand Key, and also at the Tampa Airport in the Delta Air side.
Okay. So let's switch gears and talk a little bit about the Cuban sandwich itself. From what I've read, the sandwich, it's been around for a long time. It dates back to about the 1890s. What is the history of the Cuban sandwich, and what's the connection with Tampa?
Well, the thing with the Cuban sandwich is it used to be called the mixto. It was a sandwich that was put together by various ingredients that people had around, and for us, we started serving it to cigar workers on their way to and from work. So that's the history, our history of the Cuban sandwich. Originally called the mixto, now called the Cuban. Or as we say, it's the Columbia Tampa sandwich. That's the other way to put it. And I know there's a whole controversy about the salami and Miami restaurants and things like that. What we say is, to Miami, have your 100-year-old restaurant, call us and we'll discuss it. Yeah. And no one ever calls.
Yeah. For my viewers in Germany, what Michael's referring to is if you go to Miami and get a Cuban sandwich, the Cuban sandwich you get in Miami does not have salami in it. And people in Miami will say, there is no salami in Cuba, so how can that be an authentic Cuban sandwich? But if they check their history, they would know that the Columbia restaurant was making Cuban sandwiches with salami long before there were Cuban immigrants in Miami. So the Cuban sandwich here predates the one in Miami.
Yeah, and this is the same recipe. The one we're doing now dates back to 1915. This exact recipe dates back to Casimiro Hernandez Sr. 1915.
And I think, and you mentioned that there's these different ingredients really reflect the different cultures that came to Ybor City.
Sure.
I mean,
We have the Sicilians, we have the Cubans, the Germans, all brought a little bit of home and their taste of home. So for us, when you eat a Cuban sandwich here, it's like biting into history, getting a taste of history, and reflects all those immigrants who came to Tampa from all over the world. We have a little piece of many of those generations of immigrants.
so it truly is a multicultural sandwich.
It is a multicultural sandwich, it is. But more importantly, it's really, really good.
Yeah. Well, since it's so good, why don't we go into the kitchen and see how a Cuban sandwich is made?
That would be our pleasure.
Okay.
Okay, so today we're going to build the famous Columbia Cuban sandwich. We have our house mojo roasted Cuban pork. We have our glazed sweet ham, and then we have our Genoa salami with the whole black peppercorn, Swiss cheese, pickle, and yellow mustard. So we're going to go ahead and build the sandwich first, and we're going to start by layering our ham on the bottom, and we want to make sure that we get the ham all the way end to end. We want to cover all the bread here, so when we go to press this, that every bite you get a little bit of every ingredient. Okay, and then we layer our Cuban mojo pork. Again, we want to make sure that we're completely covering end to end. Our salami. And then our Swiss cheese on top. So on our top piece of bread, we're going to get some yellow mustard. And we want to make sure that, again, every bite you're getting all the flavor. So we want to get that mustard covering end to end. And then we're going to do 2 pickles, 1 on each end. And then we'll take this and put this on the Cuban press, and then we'll have a Columbia Cuban sandwich. Okay, so prior to putting it on the press, we're going to go ahead and brush that with butter so it gets nice and golden brown and crispy. And then we've got our press here. And then this is going to go about 8 to 10 minutes until golden brown.
Looks like your sandwich is coming now. You can find out for yourself what all the
Famous
news is
Columbia
about.
Cuban sandwich.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the official sandwich of Tampa. How does that look to you? Das war mein Video für heute. Wenn ihr nach Tampa reist, lasst euch die Gelegenheit nicht entgegen, ein Cuban Sandwich im Columbia Restaurant zu probieren. Es ist ein echter Geschmack von Tampa. Ich will mich beim Columbia Restaurant dafür bedanken, dass ich hier drehen durfte. Ich hoffe, ihr findet meine Videos informativ und interessant. Wenn das so ist, tut mir bitte 3 Gefallen. Klickt auf die Daumen nach oben, abonniert und teilt meine Videos mit euren Freunden. Das hilft mir, diesen Kanal zu verbreiten. Danke fürs Zuschauen und bis nächsten Monat von Fahrschein nach Florida. Ihr Fahrschein nach Sonnenschein. Tschüss.
I need to laugh, and when the sun is out, I've got something I can laugh about. I feel good in a special way. I'm in love and it's a sunny day.